Wow, what a busy week it's been here at i3D Themes, and as the title of the video says, out with the old, in with the new. Hey, good afternoon, it's Brandon Devnich with this week's Interactive number 56, where we share what we're passionate about and what we're working on here in the i3D Themes Design and Code Labs. Little alerts popping up here. There we go. We're going to start off here in the Design Lab. This week, the phones have just been crazy this week. I don't recall a September where they've just been ringing off the hook like they have this week here. If we missed your call this week, we apologize. We just couldn't pick up the phones fast enough. And so for those of you that we did have a chance to talk to, it was really great talking to you this week. Colin has been working up a number of new project quotes and setting up new projects that we'll be starting in the next little bit here, a number of really large ones. It's going to be keeping him busy for some time. And in amongst all of that, he actually has had time to work on the brand new website template that he's been working on for a few weeks now, called Karma. It's beautiful. You're going to love it when you see it. He's just finishing up the final tweaks for the home page, which is the last thing he needs to do before sending it out to the server for us to do our final testing live on a website. So we will be doing that next week, and provided it passes all tests, probably by the end of the week, we'll have that live to the catalog. If not, if it takes a little bit more, because there's always stuff that pops up once you get it live up to the server, it could be the week after, but we're hopeful that maybe by the end of the next week we might have something out there for you. You're going to really love it. So in the Code Lab this week, I handled pretty much anything to do with the servers and the networking and that sort of thing. And carrying over from last week, we were migrating our primary corporate server, the one that houses all of our websites such as i3D Themes, Web Template Hosting, Fire Widget, Pegasus.com. And the reason we were doing this is we want to make sure that the server was super fast for when Pegasus.com goes live in the next few weeks. And now the server migration actually happened a little ahead of schedule, and so it sort of bumped our beta testing that was happening at that time. So we had to put that on hold while we upgraded the server. And boy, are we glad that we did. I tell you, this server is so fast. If you've had a chance to pop on i3D Themes, you may have noticed how much faster that website is. Just in our general testing, this new server, we ran one test last week that the report takes about 90 seconds to generate. On the new server, it took a second and a half. So it's like 50 times as fast. In our benchmark testing of our critical path CSS or rendering engine, compared to the old server, on the new server, now keep in mind we also had to upgrade the engine, so it's actually a slightly more robust engine. And I think I mentioned this last week, where we noticed that in some of our initial testing that the CSS rendering engine that we were using was perhaps not as up-to-date as it should be, and so we needed to take the time to upgrade that engine. So we did that, and so the new one is more robust, so it's even a little bit slower. But even still, the benchmarks compared to when the old engine ran on the old server to the new engine on the new server, it's still 20 times faster. So that means that we can handle probably 20 times the throughput of our old server for all of Pegasus on the new server. So we're really very excited about that. Just to give you an idea here, just pull this up here. This is our interface here for the new Pegasus plugin. This is probably pretty close to how it's going to look when it goes live. It might be a little bit hard for you to see in this particular video here, but this site is getting a 99 out of 100. The original score appears to be 81 out of 100. And of course you get to see a review of where your pages were to where they are now. And so the idea with Pegasus Accelerator is a WordPress plugin that you just install it and activate it, and you sit back and just let it go to work. There's nothing you need to do. It doesn't ask you any more questions. Basically it just installs, and it gets you your page speed scores. Then it turns itself on. It enables all the compression that it needs to do, the browser caching. It starts minifying your CSS, your JavaScript. It optimizes your images. It defers your render blocking resources. It builds your critical path CSS all on its own. Just does it. And then in the end, it tells you what your new score is. So and your score is 99, and it was 81. So it's a huge, just by turning it on, it just does what it needs to do. Now this particular site is a small sample here. We're just running it using the basic WordPress 2017 theme, just on a very basic site. And the reason we wanted to do that was make sure, because that one uses some very current CSS mechanisms. So we ran it, and well, even there, you know, using current CSS technology, it is getting a very, very high page speed score. So that's the idea, is that we want to be able to help you, if you have a WordPress site, be able to speed up your website, because having a fast website is extremely important. It's critical, actually. You want to make sure that you want to reduce your bounce rate. So if somebody's coming to your site, they don't want to have to wait for your website to load. And then search engines, they prefer to give results in their search engine results pages to pages and websites that are fast. Not only that, we've learned recently that if you're doing advertising, saying using Google AdWords, the quality score, when you go to set up your campaigns, the quality score is impacted by how fast your page loads. So if you're sending to abc.com, and abc.com is a slow domain, you're going to have a lower quality score, and thus you're going to be paying more for your ads. So that's something that's really important to consider when you have a website, is how fast is it? And how fast is it loading and rendering? And so that's one of the things that Pegasus Accelerator is going to be able to help with. And just by turning it on. Again, it's one of these things that page speed optimization, from the point of view of somebody that knows nothing about it, if you're just a website operator but you know your website needs to run faster, it's a big black box. It's a mystery box. How do we solve this problem? And for the, you know, you can go hire a firm to go and optimize your website for thousands of dollars. That's not really an option for most people. You could you know, try to learn to do it yourself, and again, that's not really an option for most people, because it can be very technical and very confusing. All the information that's out there, we had to sift through it ourselves. When we first doing this stuff, we had to sift through and go, what do they really mean by all of this? Well, we mastered all that. We figured out all the techniques, and then we bundled it up into this service that you just turn on, and it does it for you. So that's the real beauty of it, is that it just simplifies it. An on switch, basically. But it also gives you some feedback as to see where you were and where you are now. So that's what Pegasus is all about. Our reservation desk for the first flight of Pegasus, which is going to probably be mid-October. If you get on that reservation list now, it closes down at the end of September here, so in like 2 days. If you're seeing this after September 30th, you're out of luck there. But if you can get on that list before October 1st, you will automatically be entered into our first flight, as well as you'll have the opportunity to be automatically included into our developer guild, which has some super sweet perks. It doesn't cost you anything to be in that developer guild once you're in. And in fact, it doesn't even cost you anything to get on that reservation list. In fact, it doesn't even cost you anything to try Pegasus Accelerator. We're going to let you try it for free for a couple weeks. And if you decide, oh my goodness, this is just incredible, which you are going to realize, and then of course you can continue on with a subscription. So if you're not on that list, you have a WordPress site, get on that list before October 1st. After that, that reservation queue closes, and then you'll have to wait with for a different launch date. Which probably will be looking like in November. So if you want to get your hands on this super fast, get yourself on that list. Now, if you have a traditional website, like something that isn't WordPress, something that maybe you worked on with Dreamweaver or Expression Web, we actually do have a solution for that already. We built it last year. It's called Numo Accelerator, and it is essentially the same thing, except not for WordPress, and it accelerates your site for traditional websites. So if you're thinking, oh, all he's doing is talking about WordPress, I don't have a WordPress site. Well, we actually have a solution for you already, and you can go and get that right now. You just go to i3dthemes.com, and there's a big red button right in the middle of the page that says Accelerator. You can check that out there as well. Anyways, if you are thinking that you want to get on that list, or you want to learn more about the Pegasus system, head on over to pegasus.com. That's PEGASAAS.com, and I'll put the link in the comments for this video, and you can check that out yourself. Anyways, hope you've had a fantastic week, and you've got great plans for the weekend to come. And we will talk to you again next week. Oh, and before I forget, if you think there's anything in this video that somebody you know might like, or need, maybe they have a WordPress site, by all means, please share it or mention them in the comments. Or if you have any comments about this video or anything you'd like to know about, anything that we've been working on, by all means, go ahead, comment. There's usually a comment field below the video. We'd love to hear from you. Anyways, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again next week.